So I was playing CK3 the other day, and I had the most incredible luck that I've ever had in this game. Give me a second, and I'll tell you about it. So I only started playing CK3 a couple months ago, and I'm not usually into strategy games, but I watched a lot of people play this one on YouTube, and I wanted to give it a try myself. It felt a little daunting getting used to all the systems, like the different lifestyles, managing vassals, upkeeping your army, and everything else. But eventually I got a feel for it, and I was surprised how much fun I was having playing different rulers. Some of those rulers are actually very memorable, and I would save them on screenshots on my computer because they were just so interesting and fun to play. But over time I started to rely too much on saves coming, which is where if I didn't get the outcome I wanted, I would just go back to a previous save and I'd just do that over and over again until I actually got it. But eventually that felt a little unsatisfying, and I thought about challenging myself with CK3's Iron Man campaign. Iron Man is this mode where you can't go back to a previous save and all your choices are permanent. So I thought the best way to experience this was to create a character based on myself and see how far my family line gets. So I went to the year 867, created my character, and picked a random county in Italy. I chose Italy because I'm part Italian and the people there resemble me the most. At least I think so. I also wanted to start at the very bottom, which I've never done before. So far I've only started as independent dukes and I never had a liege to rule over me, but this was meant to be the true test of my family line. I didn't want to offer myself any favors. Speaking of no favors, I only gave my character traits that best reflected my personality, and I tried my best to be honest, but I'll let you decide that for yourself. I chose shy, compassionate, ambitious, recluse because that's how I usually solve my problems, and peasant leader because I wanted to roleplay as an upjumped peasant. Maybe you could say I did myself a little favor there, but I wanted something that would officially mark me as a peasant, someone who is lowered in dirt, who is only given this land because of their liege. I also gave myself a learning focus because in real life I do like to learn different things, but maybe that's just me looking up random stuff on the internet. Either way, I figured that would be what I'd most likely be doing during this time period. I knew nothing about the county I started in, or the role Italy had in this time period. I think they get absorbed by the Holy Roman Empire in like 100 years or so. Also, these traits didn't seem very special, and I haven't been in this low of a position before in any CK playthrough, so I was full and ready for this mode to kick my butt. So I first started by taking over my neighbors. This was made easy because I got an early alliance with Siena. This guy just came over and offered me an unconditional alliance out of nowhere, and he had a decent number of troops, so of course I said yes. I took Pisa and then lost it because my to-do list told me to give Pisa to someone, but I didn't know that meant I'd lose the county, so it lied to me. So then I took over Orvieto, then Vieccio, then Pisa again, Luni, Basita. At this point I was thinking of becoming the Duke of Corsica. Tuscany was way too powerful and I already owned 2/3 of the required counties. But then I looked over at the King of Italy. You see, he got into a couple wars that interfered with my own. One was even against the Pope himself. I was pretty sure the Pope wasn't too happy about that, and King Louis was even excommunicated. So I wondered what would happen if I requested a claim on his title. And the Pope said yes! Now I had a press claim in the Kingdom of Italy. A pressed claim. A press claim is the most powerful claim you can get, because if you die, it gets passed down to your heir. I never successfully requested a claim from the Pope before, so this was so mind-blowing for me. Now I could go to war with Italy whenever I wanted, and if I won, I'd become king. So then I was like, alright, let me not get ahead of myself. Maybe I should wait until I'm a little more powerful. I'll sway the king in the meantime, maybe try and become a duke, and then when it passes down to my heir, then I'll push the title. But then I saw the king was like in 4 different wars. One was even an independence war. He had more troops than me, but most of the wars were against Muslim rulers in far-off territories like Spain. So with his armies far away and his country collapsing around him, I figured a time like this would never come again, and declared war. So I was in a war against my king, with no allies and less troops. I just rushed straight towards the capital. I thought if I could capture him or his heir, I could end the war quickly. And even if that didn't happen, all I needed was to get over a certain percentage. Then if I ever started losing the war, I could just declare white peace and keep my claim. I only had onagers and levies, so I relied upon sieging castles and nothing else. We marched unopposed for the first few counties, and I even sieged the capital. But eventually his army appeared, and it was much more powerful than ours. So I literally just rushed my army across the river and sieged the castle there. This was before I knew anything about using the terrain to your advantage too. I just remember watching a CK stream where someone said rivers were good, so I took it. This was also a time when I thought numbers were the most important, so I bought the biggest mercenary band I could find and bankrupted myself. But the king's army stood between the mercenaries and my army, and neither force had the power to take them on. So we ended up sieging separately with the king's army between us. Eventually I was able to link up the mercenaries, and we crushed King Louis's army in a decisive battle. Then afterwards we received most of the counties they took back from us, including the capital. But then his army returned and marched over to my territory. I chased after him as fast as I could, but the game told me we would lose the battle even though we had more troops. And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Fortunately, we made back the money we lost from ransoming prisoners, and so I had enough money to buy a second mercenary army. We cornered our army a second time, and we actually captured King Louis himself. And just like that, I became the king of Italy. At this point, I couldn't stop laughing. I just could not believe I won that war. And everyone seemed to be cool with it. Louis must have been a really terrible king because no one joined his faction to reclaim his title. I only had a couple powerful vassals that didn't like me, but I just gave them positions in my council, and then they were all cool with this random peasant becoming king. Italy was a complete mess, by the way. Border gore everywhere, counts were just sprayed all over the place, and all these duchies were not created. I didn't know what King Louis was doing with the place, but I was determined to set things right. Well, at least I tried to. I convinced the independent vassals to rejoin, but I didn't have enough money to make their duchy, so I just left everything as it was and hoped that it would all hold together. Being king gave me some new opportunities after all, and I first sought out to expand my realm. But I could have never have guessed how far I'd go. I was waging holy wars left and right, just decimating the Muslims in the south. We were expanding so fast, it was almost like we were a tribe. Apparently, compassionate is a great trait to have if you're a Christian. After I did a pilgrimage, I was swimming in piety like it was nothing. And the Muslim nations were divided enough where I could just wage one holy war after another without facing any major consequences. I was expanding quickly not just because I wanted to, but also out of desperation. The Byzantine Empire had direct claim to Sicily, and their army was much more powerful than ours. But by some miracle they never attacked us, or even expanded that far. I'm not sure why, they had a lot more troops than us, but I wasn't one to complain. I took most of Tauhert while I was at it and claimed all this land in such a short amount of time. I usurped Romania, saved enough money to form an empire title, and went from count to emperor in one lifetime. But that was not the end. You see, I had a brother-in-law and he would keep creating a faction to take Italy. It was really annoying because I had to keep my vassals happy and also get hooks on them using my spy master, so no one would join him. But after I became emperor, things got a little interesting. I discovered he didn't just have an unpressed claim on Italy, but also on East Francia and West Francia. So I could just go in there, declare war on those countries, and claim them all for myself. At this point, I was thinking the good times never end! But sadly, that's when my luck ran out. West Francia was going through a civil war where the nations split, and the king of Aquitaine was trying to claim it for his own. I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to swipe West Francia, and I finally got the ungodly amount of prestige to declare war on them without consequences. But at the same time, the Pope declared holy war for Jerusalem, and like a good Christian boy, I offered to fight. But I figured it was no big deal. I would just have to win the war in West Francia quickly, not realizing that 8 months was not that long in this game. It eventually dawned on me that I wouldn't finish the war in time, and once that holy war officially started, my war in West Francia would end inconclusively. So I withdrew my pledge, not knowing what would happen, and just hoping my goodwill with the Pope would get me a slap on the wrist. But I couldn't have been more wrong. Soon I got a message, then I was excommunicated, and then a group of Muslims decided to attack me in Sicily. I remembered what happened to King Louis, and I desperately tried to get recommunicated fast. Thankfully, the Pope forgave me once I rejoined the Holy War, and after white peacing West Francia, I marched south to defend my territory. But the Pope got mad when I wasn't helping him in Jerusalem, so I literally abandoned my territory and made sure to personally lead the armies myself, just to make sure I didn't become excommunicated again. I didn't even get Holy Warrior. After we lost the war, the Muslims were still attacking me in Sicily, and they were at 96% war score. I hired a mercenary army and they just barely held the Muslims back as my troops were coming home. Like, it was a close battle. The game was saying our chances were even. My troops overwhelmed them afterwards, but we were so close to losing that I called a miracle. The only positive that came out of this was I was at least able to push my son-in-law's claim on West Francia, and like any grateful son-in-law, he kept creating a faction to take Italy. Now all that was left was East Francia. I swear at this point the game was trolling me. I was trying to get enough prestige to declare war, although my brother-in-law was becoming so old that he could die at any point. My first wife died at 64 and he was becoming 65, 66, and keep in mind when I declare war, he would have to live through the entire thing. If he were to die at any point, the war would be invalidated, and we would lose that claim for good. I was debating on whether I should just go for it and take the prestige penalty. I was waging war on more Muslims in some parts of Croatia, but none of it seemed to make my prestige go any higher. And somehow my brother-in-law just kept chugging along. He had all these health boots and traits, all while trying to steal Italy from me. The question just kept on nagging me until I couldn't take it anymore. I bit the bullet, declared war, and lost a level of prestige. I made sure to build up my army beforehand. East Francia had a lot of mountains, but I had pikemen and I thought that meant I was covered. I also hired a mercenary army for backup. My goal was just to get high enough where I could declare white peace. My brother-in-law was already in his 70s, and if I tried winning the entire thing, I'd be taking a huge risk. By declaring white peace, we would at least have pushed his claim, and once it passed down to his heir, we could fight East Francia another day. We were able to capture a few counties, but then their army showed up, and although they had less troops, they wiped the floor with us. I can't remember why. I think my troops were undersupplied and of lesser quality, but after they beat us, I remember I had to wait for my troops to retreat to Italy before attacking again, and East Francia was quickly sieging back their territories. Meanwhile, my brother-in-law had smallpox. It wasn't what he died from, but of all the times this could have happened, now was when he decided to get sick. He died from old age before we could even get close to white peace. My character got a peg leg from a gout treatment, became cynical and a cannibal from learning events, and passed away at 83 years old. I like to think his life went downhill because of his failure to capture East and West Francia, but he accomplished so much in his lifetime, and I can't wait to see where his dynasty goes next. Okay, if you're back, you probably heard the madness that has occurred. We were playing as Emperor Daniel of Italia, and his predecessor, my god, what a savage. He just wrecked all the Muslims down here and all the way over here, and I can't believe we just started as a count. We just rose so far in such a short amount of time. This is phenomenal. This is probably the best I've ever done in any CK campaign with one character. And what's funny about it is it's a character that was based on me. I never thought I would survive medieval times, but according to CK3, I become King of Italia, apparently. And if you're wondering why I had the house name grayed out in the intro, it's because my house name used to be my real last name. And that was before, when I was just doing this for fun, and it was my first ever Iron Man campaign ever. But I just got so far that I want to share it with somebody. At the same time, I want to keep my personal life and my YouTube life separate, at least for now. Maybe that'll change if I become a little more famous. But for now, I just want to do this for fun without worrying about my personal information getting out there. My first name is Chris, by the way, if you're curious. But that's all I'm going to reveal. We're going to be playing House Romani from now on, and you might be heard of the name Romani if you played Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. One of my favorite Legend of Zelda games. I like it a little bit better than Ocarina of Time, but I know that there are a lot of hardcore Ocarina of Time fans out there. And stepping out of the shoes of the greatest emperor ever, we're now playing Emperor Daniel of Italia. And I haven't really played too much with him, there are just a few things that you might have missed. So I was, back when I was Emperor Christopher, I was in war with this guy, the Emperor of Mizab, and that war continued under Emperor Daniel. But I had an uprising with my vassals, and so I declared white peace here so I can take care of this situation. And there was a lot of people in it. I think she was in it. He was in it. I think he was in it. I'm not sure. And I think she was in it. And there were just a lot of people in it. And I had no idea how to stop them at first. But then I realized some of the people in there were counts. So my plan really was just to bury them. So like this count, I gave him to the Duke, and then I gave her somebody, and I think I gave her somebody. And basically that ended the Independence War. I think this is the last remnant, or no, this is a different faction. But that was basically all that sorted out, and we were able to hold power. But the internal struggles in our realm are not the only thing we have to worry about, because we are a very small power in a sea of powerful nations. We got West Francia over here. They got a lot of troops. Got La Thuringia. We got the Byzantine Empire, and their troop number is scary to me. They got so many. I think there's like we don't even reach a fraction of theirs, and it's putting me in a little bit of a nervous position, because when you look at the de jure claims, they actually have some claim to our lands here. We need to, in order to unite Italy, which is one of my goals in this playthrough, we're gonna have to take over all of Croatia and all of Italia, and that includes these little areas over here. And I have no idea how we're gonna get those. Um, and really, I think these guys just have never attacked us, and I don't know why. They have so many more troops, and I think the reason that they aren't attacking us is because of our alliance with West Francia. You see, I only have one daughter, and I gave her a normal marriage to one of the princes of West Francia. And we're kind of in a little bit of a precarious position because if these guys go to war, the Byzantine empires could attack us at any point. Just assuming that their alliance is keeping them from attacking us right now. But there's not much we could do against that number, unfortunately. That's just a very unfortunate fact of things. And one other thing, I actually, when we were pushing for East and West Francia, I had one claim that I pressed, and that was on the Kingdom of West Francia. So we're kind of in a little bit of a precarious position. I could theoretically go to war with these guys, and then I could go attack Aquitaine because he's a king, and anything I win in a kingdom war, any lands I claim, I'm going to get those on top of West Francia, which is in this area. But that is just a terrible number. They also have light horsemen, and we don't have those yet. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that we're having a little bit of trouble with Italy. There are a lot of people who have claims to this title. A lot of powerful people. Well, actually, not really a lot of powerful people. Just one powerful person, and that is the king of La Thuringia. And let me get out of this real quick. So the king of La Thuringia has a claim on Italy, and he has a decent number of troops. So, like, the worst case scenario is if the Byzantine Empire and the Lotharingian Empire went after us at once. That would be like the nightmare situation. We'd only have Romania. If we lost all those wars, we'd only have Romania left, and maybe Sardinia. We take it at least. And yeah, we're kind of in a strange spot, but at the same time, we're also in a really good spot because I can't imagine what Italy would be like now if Emperor Christopher did not just come and just decimate everyone and just claim all this land. I've seen in some playthroughs that the Holy Roman Empire forms and that Italy just becomes a part of it. So I guess we did change history. We definitely broke East Francia. East Francia was this huge nation over here, and now it's just over here. But it actually happened in a couple of my playthroughs on its own, so maybe we weren't completely responsible for that. So, what are my goals? What do I plan to accomplish in this campaign? Well, I want to make sure that House Romani is as glorious as possible. So I want to make sure I make any special decisions that I have that will make this dynasty more glorious and like remembered throughout the ages. But right now, what I'm thinking is that we would first unify Italy. So this isn't really the Kingdom of Italy, but it's really just like a region. So first we got to completely control the Kingdom of Italia. And as you can see, the yellow borders over here, that's all the land we have to control. And then we would place this other place called Illustrium. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but basically it's this region over here. And after we do that, I'm thinking we try to form the Roman Empire. And I'm not talking the Holy Roman Empire. I'm talking the Roman Empire, the Rise from the Ashes achievement. I'm going to try to get that in my first ever Iron Man campaign of this game. And I've never really seen anyone do it from Italia before. I've seen it done in the Holy Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire, but never Italia. So We're gonna do it with Italia, baby. Now, I wasn't sure how to do this at first, and I'm still not really sure how to do it. I just thought, make this, and then see how it goes. And that's sort of why I took over Towherd over here. I was thinking like maybe I could just take over all the Muslims over here and up here and down here. There's just a lot of them over here. And Emperor Christopher was really good with holy wars, so I'm like, hey, maybe we could just get away with that. And then we get big enough to like take all over this, and then we go to the Byzantine Empire and take them all out. But apparently that's not really how it works. So I think with Italia, you have to first unify Italy, and then after that you have to take over a couple cities, and I think most of those cities are going to be in the Byzantine Empire. So we have to somehow get powerful enough where we can take these guys out. Either we get stronger or we have powerful alliances, and we have to somehow take their land from them, and I think I think Athens is one of those cities, and I think Athens is over here somewhere. Take Constantinople, and then maybe some of the cities over here. I can't see it because it's not a major decision for me right now, so I'm just hoping that's what we have to do. But you know, I'm probably going to look up this stuff as I go and just try to figure out what the best solution is, and see how far I get. But I'm alright if we take any other kingdoms in the meantime, especially if it will help us take out the Byzantine Empire. We need some more troops. Alright, I think this recap has been going on long enough. There's so much more I want to cover. Like, there were so many things that I didn't talk about with Emperor Christopher, and there are some things with Emperor Daniel and different relationships and different people that I know in this campaign, but I feel like we're just going to be here all day if I keep talking about it. So my plan is to just go over it while I'm playing when it becomes relevant. Otherwise, this video would just be a giant recap video, and I don't think that would be very fun. Alright, now it's time for the moment of truth. Will we live on, and will we continue Emperor Christopher's legacy, creating the Roman Empire in the process? Or will Emperor Christopher's reign be a one-time deal, and are we going to crash and burn like all other empires before us? Let's find out. Alright, first things first, we gotta move our capital, because I have not moved this ever since Chris was a count. And it's not really in the most ideal place. For starters, anyone that's our enemy could just sail over and conquer it very easily. And that's a huge war score bonus. But more importantly, we also need a duchy building. So there's one county in like every duchy that has this thing called a duchy building. And you can see that he has it. If you look at the slot, it has these spikes here. And this will help us get some like army gold maintenance and taxes and levies. And basically all the things we kind of need right now. Italy's development is just super bad compared to our neighbors. But because I jumped from a count to a king, we were never able to establish a foothold in Italy. Now I have a couple options that I can go with, neither of which are pretty good. We could either take the duchy off of this guy, because he has not been a good boy. He's a familial kinslayer, an adulterer, and we can imprison him very easily. So if I hover over here, you'll see that it will definitely succeed, because he's terrified of me and he's a craven. But the problem with this is this will incur an act of tyranny. So we could imprison him, take his titles, and we can get it that way, but both actions are going to cause me some tyranny. And I already incurred some tyranny when I extorted my vassals not too long ago. So we could probably get away with this, but we're probably going to have to suffer a lot of consequences in the process. Now, I might be able to not incur as much tyranny if I increase my crown authority, because this law allows me to revoke titles and also imprison vassals, I think. Maybe I can imprison vassals already. I don't see that here, actually. But the thing is, these things are shunned by the Catholic faith. They aren't criminal actions. So I'm not really sure if we can get away with this. But there is an alternative. We could also set up our capital in Sicily, because that is actually the only duchy that we own. Out of all the conquering and all the, bloodshed that Chris has gone through, the only duchy we ever got was Sicily, which is I find is pretty funny. But the problem with this is it's so close to our enemies. It's so close to the Byzantine Empire and also this guy over here who doesn't really like me very much. So we would be putting ourselves in a very unsafe location. They could just come in and just take our capital in a war, and I don't really know what's going to happen to us if they conquer our land. I think I think some sort of duke would give up their title for us or something. But but even excluding that, you know, that's going to be pretty bad with war score if we ever go to war with Byzantine or these guys. And if they take our capital, they could kill our heirs. They could imprison me. They could imprison all these people. So it's not really the easiest solution. Now, what do I want to do? Well, I'm always in the mood for a bit of role play, and I could see Emperor Daniel doing either decision. So, Emperor Daniel is not the most stable individual. He has some temper issues. So I could see him taking this guy, imprisoning him, and taking his title just because he can. Back when we were having the vast uprising, we had some prisoners from Mazab after I white pieced it. And I had Emperor Daniel, actually I had him execute a couple prisoners so that we could get our dread up. But I could also see him doing having a capital in Sicily, because a little history of Daniel, his father was actually the Duke of Sicily, and that was before when he was my primary heir. I put him in as a duke so that his prestige would go up. But unfortunately, Prince Pedro died of cancer, and then that put us with Emperor Daniel as the primary heir. I feel like it's a bit of a shame because even though Prince Pedro doesn't have the best stats, I've played rulers with poor stats before. Like one time I had this ruler with the stupid trait, and he was the most entertaining ruler that I've ever played. So I'm not really into like just having like the most maxed out character all the time. It's always interesting to play someone that has like a deficiency somewhere. But it might have been a blessing in disguise because we kind of need an administrator, even though Emperor Daniel isn't the best at it. And I'm thinking Emperor Daniel is petty enough where he would want the capital of Italia to be in his home county, no matter how dangerous it might be. And also, a little history of this family. They actually helped me way back when I was a count in Arbello. My first alliance was with Siena, and because of that alliance, I was able to take over all the counties in this region and subsequently become the king of Italy. So I have a feeling I want to honor them and take the more dangerous option. As we cross the sea to take our grandfather's throne, we realize that we were not loved here, and that we do not belong here. It's time for us to return to our true home, our home in Sicily. All right, next on the list, we gotta do something about our piety because Daniel can't has some trouble turning the other cheek, and because of that, our piety is suffering pretty badly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on a pilgrimage, and I'm gonna go for the most expensive one. Let's see, what do we got here? We can go to Jerusalem. The not the most expensive, the longest. So we're gonna go to Holguin. All right, here I go. Time to depart. Let's wish Emperor Daniel off to a safe voyage. Also, I feel like I should add a side note because I was watching the last clip. I'm really sorry if the audio quality feels a little bit off. I was messing around with filters and OBS, and I still can't figure out how to get the clicking out, or even my keyboard. You might also hear some like light sounds in the background every so often. I try to stay as still as possible. I don't know, someone's always moving in my house. But if you're still enjoying this video despite that, I'm really happy, and I hope to fix these problems in future videos. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to sway, we're going to sway him, because we kind of need, the Byzantine Empire is kind of like our biggest threat right now. Because back when I was Emperor Christopher, I didn't have a powerful alliance, and I think the reason he didn't attack me back then is because he had a favorable opinion of me. And I'm kind of trying to get all the chances I can get in order to stop him from attacking us, because the Byzantine Empire are like the one power that could stop our expansion of Italia. Um, we could probably deal with the Muslims down south pretty easily, and Lotharingia might be a little annoying, but soon enough, our troops are going to match theirs. And if we really need help, we can just call on West Francia next door. But the Byzantine Empire is just so powerful that I just hope and pray that they don't attack us. I mean, we're fellow emperors, so we should be friends after all. Although that success chance is less than a coin toss. But I've dealt with worse odds. Once Emperor Daniel returns from his pilgrimage, we'll probably deal with these Muslims down south. They're super close to our capital, so they're gonna have to be eliminated quick. This guy is making me a little nervous. But right now I'm gonna do some housekeeping, so let me go to the council real quick. He doesn't like me, and that's bad, but I kind of want to sway to Byzantine first, because if it comes to like getting more troops or getting conquered, I'll take not getting conquered any day. I'm going to switch this guy over to organized levies so that we could increase our army a little bit while Emperor Daniel's away. And hopefully our money's going to be coming back. We'll have to see how that goes. I also switched my counselor to foreign affairs because the external powers could be a real thorn in our side as we're trying to expand. I mean, the Byzantine Empire is our biggest threat, but these guys, even though they're a little bit less than that, they could still cause us some trouble and maybe have us waste time with wars with them. And instead of expanding, which is what I want to do, and I want to do it as fast as possible. And you might also notice that my wife is pregnant. I'm really hoping that it's a son, because we kind of sold our primary heir to West Francia. And if Emperor Daniel were to die, and if she were to marry him, the children that she would bear would not be of our dynasty. So I'm just really hoping we have a son. We kind of needed that alliance. So I was desperate. I just get my only heir. I wouldn't have done that under normal circumstances, but you know, we just are dealing with a lot of problems and we need some friends. But if we don't have a son, I do have a backup plan. So after this lifestyle focus cooldown wears off, I'm actually going to switch over to diplomacy. And if we don't have a son, we're going to go to family focus, because that will increase our fertility by 20%. And we just got to keep hoping that she keeps getting pregnant, and hopefully we'll get a son eventually. But if I do get a son, I'm going to go to foreign affairs focus, because we kind of need to appease the powers around us. And that's not really the only reason I want to switch over to this tree. There's actually a couple perks here that could actually help us. So one is a thoughtful. So we could we would get 100% bonus from sending a gift, and that could definitely be helpful with appeasing people. We could also get firm hand, and that will give us some monthly prestige per dread. And I mean, we're kind of living off of dread right now, so I think that would be a pretty good perk to get. We could also get befriend, and definitely befriend like the rulers around us, and even some unruly vassals. But the one perk that I'm kind of interested in is called forced vassalage. So we would get this forced vassalization casus belli, and we would be able to force vassalize any ruler that has 3 counties or less. So what's interesting about that is that a lot of the rulers around us have like 3 counties, 4, 2, like close to that number. So first off, the Pope, who I was trying to vassalize for like the longest time, he has 3 counties. And then we have Benvito over there, he has 4, but we could win this one in a war. And then after the treaty's over, we could just force vassalize him. We could do the same thing with Sardinia. They have 4 counties, and then we could take one, force vassalize him. This person over here, she has 3 counties. This person has 4, I think. This person has 1. This person has 1. This person has 2. So basically, we could take over all the duchies like in this region and just become extremely powerful super quickly. And that is exactly what we want. Oh yeah, one more thing I'm going to be doing real quick is I'm going to marry my spy master to this random Welsh peasant upriser, because he has organizer, and we need some more commanders. That's always really nice, and he's pretty decent. All right, and that is taken care of. Ooh, and we're also going to give this guy some land. So he's actually my third best. I just looked this guy up. He's like my third best knight. And he's like the only one here that's Muslim, which I'm sure is pretty awkward for him, because I do remember him way back when I was Emperor Christopher. And we were doing all these holy wars, and he was just with a bunch of Catholics. I'm sure his life is very interesting. But what we're going to do is we're going to convert him to, we're going to demand that he converts to Catholicism first. Oh yes, and now I got a son. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, we got a son. Our dynasty is safe. What should I name him? You know what? I can't really think of any names by now. And I'd like her to be happy. So we'll call him Landolf. That sounds good. Now, getting back to Azur, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but we're going to give him some land now, because the reason I want him to convert and stuff is because he's about to leave my court. So since he's about to leave my court and he's my third best knight, we're going to give him this brand territory right over here. So let me grant titles, and then here you go, and there you go. Man, Daniel is such an incredible ruler. He's able to make all these decisions all while he's away on a pilgrimage. I wonder how that's going, by the way. Oh no, it looks like Daniel's sick. Seems that I have not taken well to all this travel. Perhaps it's the strange lands that fill me with unfamiliar air, or perhaps the furs that are not warm enough. Dude, this is Lotharingia, man. How is this so strange for you? Either way, my cough has been persistent for weeks, and it's this morning could barely muster the strength to get out of bed. Do I even have the strength to continue onwards? Hell yeah. No time to give up now. We didn't just bankrupt this kingdom just for you to start crawling back home. We need you to become a holy man, just like your grandfather was, so we can do some holy wars. Speaking of the devil, we are in debt. I wake up to the noise of chaos in the camp, but it only takes a few moments to realize what is happening. We are under attack. Bandits are swarming out the tanks and wagons while our guards do what they can do to resist. I don't know if Daniel's is much of a fighter. Let's see. Oh, 3. Okay, well, we're not fighting. 50-50. I get prestige or I get wounded. Actually, I don't know. That's a coin toss thing. Maybe we could do that. There has to be somewhere I could hide. 54-45. A little bit of a higher chance. Stop this madness. No. We already paid too much. We already bankrupted this kingdom. We need the money back. So we are going to fight them. Oh, darn it. But now we're healed. Are we? No, we're still ill. But our scar got healed. What an excellent doctor. I'm now convinced that Emperor Daniel has brought his court with him. It's the only way these interactions make any sense. Oh, we made it! I'm finally here, body and soul, the great church of Colgine. As the bishop offers me a blessing, I reflect on everything that has happened for God to bring me here at this moment in time. I mean, that pilgrimage was not an easy one. I'll give him that. So we definitely earned this, and I have walked the holy path. Oh, look at that! Now my piety is higher. Interesting. But we don't. Oh man, I thought this pilgrimage was actually going to get rid of that negative modifier here, but unfortunately, vengeful was just too much of a sin. We didn't even get. I thought we would get a buff from being a pilgrim, but we didn't. That's okay. We're gonna roll with the punches. So that just means that we're probably gonna have to be a little bit more conservative when it comes to our piety. No asking the Pope for money or anything like that. We're just gonna go spend it on holy wars. We need to get these Muslims up here in northern Africa. I'm looking at this guy, and I'm looking at this guy, and this guy, and maybe this guy. But we recently white peaced this person, so I might leave him alone for a little bit. First, we have to get out of debt, though, and I have a feeling this isn't going to be the last time we're going to have problems with money. Because almost everything we do costs money, whether that's creating men-at-arms, whether that's increasing their size, whether that's building buildings for our county over here, whether that's even to host a feast or call a hunt. because my character got a little bit of stress recently because Emperor Daniel is ambitious and he had to give this county over to Azure, and he's not too happy about that, I guess. But we're probably gonna have a huge issue trying to get money, and especially if we want to do this one secret decision that I wanted to try, empower Sicilian Parliament. So this was actually a secret reason as to why I wanted Sicily, because you know, like I said, I wanted to go with the special decisions that would make our dynasty as glorious as possible, and we can actually meet these requirements very easily. Like his learning is only 5, but his wife, if I put her onto learning on the council, our learning is going to be 10. We just have to wait a little bit for illustrious. We just have to buy we just have to buy the kingdom of Sicily, or not buy it. We have to create the title of Sicily, which is like 5,000 gold, 500 gold, and when we do this decision, it's going to be that much gold, which is so much gold. So we're going to have a lot of problems with money, I'm thinking, because we need a lot of it and we don't have the development where we're getting high taxes or anything. So we might be in a little bit of trouble, but I do have a one solution. We could also get hooks on people. So I have this spy master, and she has served me thick and thin ever since I was Emperor Christopher. And if you should see by her stat, she's actually like, it looks like she was born to be a spy master. Like her intrigue is 26, which is excellent. And then she's elusive shadow, which is like the highest you can ever be. And even better, her house motto is actually never meticulous, always cunning. And I just thought that was like the most incredible thing ever. She even has the look to it too. My nickname for her is the Pale Lady. Sorry if that's offensive to any albinos, but she just has that look. And I'm really, I feel like it's a bit of a shame that her house name isn't going to live on, because her kids were actually, back when I had another husband, it was not a matrilineal marriage. So her kids were actually under her husband's house, which is by wisdom and renown, which isn't really that impressive, unfortunately. So, I mean, unless she somehow gets kids at like 55, I don't think her house name is going to live on, which is a bit of a shame. I wish I caught that a little earlier. But we're going to make the most of her while we have it. So recently, I've been sending her to look for some hooks on my vassals, because they don't really like Emperor Daniel very much. Like you could see over here, one of them's like negative 26. There's this guy who's negative 41. And, there's a few counts that like us, but overall, most of them kind of like dislike us, or they have like close to low opinion, like not too far down, but it's sort of like the opposite of what it was like when Emperor Christopher was around. So like at the very end of his reign, there was like a lot of dukes that liked him, and there were like a couple of them that didn't. But now it's sort of like the inverse. Ever since Daniel came in, he's not as popular, I guess. So that's why I was trying to get some hooks on them, because I mean, if we can't rule through love, we gotta rule through fear. But unfortunately, it hasn't been going very well. We've just been getting some hooks. We got some hooks from a couple powerful people like her, but most of these people were just like courtiers and just like people that don't really have that much money. So I'm thinking about sending her somewhere else where we could probably make a better profit. So at first I was thinking about sending her to the Byzantine Empire, because I believe if I get a strong hook on the emperor, that would prevent him from declaring war on us. And even if that it wasn't possible, I think if I send her to her court, I have a chance of getting hook on any of his vassals, and they have a decent amount of money. But then I got a better idea. I was thinking about sending her to England, because I think the dukes over here, I think they have a little bit more money than the dukes down at the Byzantine Empire. And even better, one of the sons of King, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that name, but one of his sons actually is married to a member of my family, and this is a matrilineal marriage. And there's something a little bit interesting about how England does succession. they have an election. So I was thinking if I actually wanted to have my family on the English throne, I would have to assassinate the brothers of that one guy over here. I would have to assassinate all his older brothers. But because England operates under an election law, maybe we could get hooks on some of the dukes, some of the electors, and get them to vote for this guy. And then when the king passes away, he'll take the throne, and all his kids will be of my dynasty. Honestly, if we could pull that off, that would be crazy. It's like we are replacing like like a historical line, the line of Wessex. And I've already replaced the Carling, so this is like some sort of weird fan fiction or something that we're living out here, where my family line is replacing all these famous royal bloodlines. So I mean, maybe we get away with it, and if we do, England would be a very powerful ally indeed. That number of troops is almost as much. I think it might just be as much. It's actually even higher than West Francia. And England isn't even like, it hasn't even completely formed yet. There's still like, it still hasn't absorbed Mercia and some of these other duchies and counties. So, I mean, if we get our family on there, that would be insane. But even if we don't, we still have that constellation of being able to cash in our hooks for money. And that is something we definitely need. And no way, they have like 85%, man. We're going to find a secret here. We're going to find something. I mean, if we don't find anything on his vassals, we're at least going to find something on the king. He is both a torturer and a schemer, and I bet someone like that has some skeletons in their closet. Alright, we're going to let time pass for a little bit. Oh yeah, before I forget, I actually have this random lady that's in my council. She was actually the second wife of Emperor Christopher, and I did find his spouse, hopefully he's still there, that was really good at stewardship. And here he is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to matrilineally marry her to this guy, and we're going to accept. And now we have the makings of a powerful council. Now, Lord Mayor Esperando, I am sorry, my friend. You have served us very well, but we have found a marshal that's a little bit better than you and more qualified for this position. So unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. And now, husband and wife are on the council together. And now, Duke oh man, I'm just never going to get these names right, am I? We were actually trying to appease him for a little bit, and that's why I have him on this position. But now we have a steward that is twice as good as he is. And I mean, even though we're trying to appease him right now, he still doesn't like us, even though we have him on the council. So I really don't think it's worth it at this point, and I'm just going to fire him and replace him with someone better. Now that's a council to be proud of. Oh man, I didn't think he'd hate me that much. Wow. Now that we're focusing on the kingdoms outside our realm, we're kind of ignoring the vassals inside. And their relationship to Emperor Daniel has not improved much. This guy is the worst, but the others aren't that much better. Like this guy over here, and this guy, and this guy. You know, maybe the actual threat to our power is going to come from inside rather than outside. But at this point, I really don't care, because I really think there's nothing we could reasonably do to get these guys to like us. I mean, I gave this guy a council position, and he was still negative 26 on me. So I'm kind of okay with just kind of leaving the Murad, honestly. But that presents a little bit of a problem. You see, I think we could probably handle another vassal uprising, because we do have an alliance with West Francia, and they never go to war with anybody. So I think that we could probably just call on them if they have another vassal uprising. But the one thing that could do us in is an assassination. I'm sure a number of these people would like to murder us, and since our since our spy master is away in England, we're a little bit vulnerable. And if Emperor Daniel dies, that would be really bad because we have a heir that's only like 0 years old. So that might set us back very far. I think only the members in your court increase the murder success chance. So I'm going to quietly marry away the people that are not at least intimidated by us. For some reason, I'm able to marry this lady off to a Muslim. I didn't think that was possible since our religions are hostile to each other. But hey, if it works, it works. Speaking of which, what's going on over here, Count Azur, with your Muslim wife? Hey, we converted you to Catholicism here. I thought, an ex-Muslim would help us a little bit with converting this county, but I don't know. Do you have some skeletons in your closet, Mr. Azur? The Count I cannot name, I cannot pronounce? Huh? You know what? I'm actually alright with this. I actually wish that if you had a choice that you could actually run a secular government, because even though I changed the name of the house, I was sort of basing this off of like what I would probably personally do if I was living in medieval times. And religion, we should not persecute people based on their religion. So if Muslims and Christians want to get married, hey, who am I to question that? Oh, look at that, my friends. There are a few things that I enjoy more than Enzo's company. He seems to know exactly what to do to relieve my troubled mind. It helps me so much when he's invited me along the other day. After this short break, I was once again ready to take on my duties. I'm lucky to have a friend like Enzo. If that's not the right pronunciation, I'm done. But we got some stress loss from that. Nice. Man, Enzo, he's a good friend. You know what? We should make him a king one of these days. So this guy's my knight. How good is he really? Negative 34. I mean, we're trying to live. We're trying to not die. Someone could be killing us at any point. I really think, Petro, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. I'm sorry, my friend. Hey, while I'm at it, how about I give these guys some vassals? That makes everybody happy, right? And you can get a vassal here? And would you like a vassal, sir? And you, my friend, would you like a vassal? Alright, at least they do not dislike us that much. I could give Tuscany or Bello back, but I actually have some plans for it. Let's just say it involves making someone the king of Italy. And what are you doing in my court? You have no claims, and you're just negative opinion on us, and those traits. Only we're allowed to have those traits, and those are not the kind of traits for someone in my court who's not going to try to murder me in the future. So we're going to have to marry you off to a nice young lady that will go take a matrilineal marriage. You can go to this guy's court instead. He doesn't like me very much, and maybe we'll have to assassinate him in the future. Oh man, what's happening here? You might be the emperor, but you're also a vile churl. An unprovoked anger expression by my Aunt Fausta comes to a complete surprise. She has been under a lot of stress lately, but to behave like this, that even she struggles. It's calming. What's going on here? I actually invited you to the court, and you're like spilling out like that to Emperor Daniel. How dare you? How dare you? Although she is irritable. She doesn't like us, but we can't really do anything about that. And also, we're trying to get you on the throne of England here. Look, the ungratefulness is appalling. I can't believe it. Come on, get out of debt. Come on. Wonder how our sway is going. We got 2 months left. We got a 48% chance. Really hoping something happens, please. I have prowled through the documents, both ancient and less certain to province. So, I actually was, I was actually trying to push a crane on this county over here. And we are waiting so long to get out of debt. We have just been waiting the entire episode. So I am not going to push this claim. And instead, I'm going to have him go somewhere else. How about you try to get a claim on Sardinia instead? And please get me the duchy. Aw, man. The Emperor is not swayed. But we also got a secret. Interesting. What do we got? We learned about Bothino di Bonafeld, the London's cannibal secret. Is she a duke? She is not a duke, but she's someone in the court we can assassinate King Athelwulf with, which is great. Yes! We are officially out of debt, which means we can now start our great expansion of Italia, and I know just the place to start. Looks like you're in another war with somebody. It looks like you're in a war with this guy over here. I think he's actually in war because he wants a duchy, I believe it is. He wants some sort of county. And that means they're going to be easy pickings, especially since their army is super small. So we're definitely going to crush them easily. All right, mister, you believe in the wrong religion, and we're going to go to war with you with that, which is super hypocritical because now we're letting our people marry Muslims. But hey, you know, we just got to do it. Loving this music. It's making me pumped. Raise all armies. Let's see if we can still get some monthly income. Let's not go negative. All right, that is good enough. That is way too good enough. And we got a great general. We're going to crush these guys. It's going to be so easy. And even better, now Emperor Daniel is well again. As I woke this morning and I saw the rays of sunshine falling through my window, it took me a moment to realize that I have slept soundly for the first time in weeks. I did not wake up coughing once. I am glad to be well again. About time, because I think we had that illness for like about a year. We went to Lotharingia, we got that illness for like a year. How does that even happen? Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to be calling Ienzo back to my court. This is actually for something I'll tell you about it in a little bit. Yes. Divide and conquer. Fight each other as I take your land from you. Oh, we should definitely take these guys out after the battle. We are going to crush. Oh, wait. I'll lose decisively. Why? Oh, wait. Let me see if I can get a better commander. Me. No, I'll still lose decisively. What is going on here, son? Alright, you know what? We're just gonna stick together. I was going to station, let me try this again. Station procedures. Alright, that looks a lot better. I don't know what's going on there. 100 casualties. We really want that. Oh shoot, what's going on with you? You got typhus. Uh-oh. Alright, so I have Azur in command because he is a Reaver. And that ruse is only going to result in 25 casualties. And we are actually, hold on. Alright, let's get the typhus guy in here. Alright, we're not going to lose this at all. We are going to get this. We are going to defeat them. I don't care. Alright, let's go. No! No! What was I thinking? Oh man. This isn't good. Alright. We got a retreat and we got an empty council. Oh no! He died of typhus. That is so unfortunate. He was a great commander. Alright, I guess I'll put Count Christopher in here. What an unfortunate defeat. This guy was supposed to be an easy enemy too. Alright, we're gonna raise everybody. Ooh, we got a secret. So, while performing her duties as spy master, Kolvetsia has uncovered a secret held by King Athelwulf of England. He's taken this duchess, the wife of Duke Athelwulf, as a lover. This is useful to know. And how long are you guys gonna retreat for? Let's just get started, I think. Oh man, I hope this doesn't end in a massive failure. That was just not a great tactical move on my part. Alright, you guys join in. And while that's happening, I think I'm going to blackmail King Athelwulf for his lover's secret. We get a hook, I think, for 10 years. Let me see. 60%. Alright, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Is he gonna say yes or no? Let's see. Man, this is falling apart. I was not expecting this to go this badly. Whether it's a misguided sense of pride or fear of some great reprisal, King Athelwulf claims that I hold no sway over him. I'm not gonna reveal it because we actually have a secret that we could use on her for an assassination attempt. So I'm not going to reveal it. Oh, and by the way, This guy's making me a little nervous. He is a pretty good schemer, and he's directly under me. Now, I can't really get rid of him very easily, but I could make him a vassal under this lady because he will have less of a reason to go after me. I'm really hoping. So I'm just going to grant her this vassal over here. Looks like she took Croatia too. I saw that war. It was like kind of happening in the background. And he had made a new alliance. Interesting. Well then. Well then. Let's just hope that this war does not drag on. Please go back. I'm hoping that through this war we kind of get some prisoners that we can ransom so we can make some money back. It is my right and responsibility to determine what coinage is to be used throughout of all of Italia. The choice I make determine how the coinage, and by extension my realm, is seen throughout the world. So what are we going to do here? We can mint silver coins to facilitate trade. We get development growth. I think that's good. Mint coins in my own vistage. Or the base coinage with inexpensive nickel. I don't really want to lose prestige. Although I do kind of want some money. This is a very tempting to go for. But I think I'm just going to go for mint gold coins and print in my own visage. I just think, even though he doesn't have the trait arrogant, I just see Emperor Daniel as arrogant for whatever reason. So I just think he would do this. And prestige is also always nice. Oh man, we're getting all these nice secrets from his court. We know that this girl is a non-believer. It's such a shame though that we don't have any hooks on any of the dukes or the king itself, so we can't change the outcome of the election right now. Let's see, can I put her in another county? I don't know. I thought that somehow we could get secrets from like dukes or something from the king's court. I think maybe if he has people on the council, we can get secrets from them. I don't know what we're gonna do, but man, I think I'm nervous because this is just Iron Man. If we make any mistakes, they're all permanent. So we kind of are stuck with the choices we make. She's a powerful duke, and she's one of the electors. How easy is it going to be? 10% chance. Oh man, this is a tough position we're in. Might not be so easy to rig this election after all. 30% chance for this guy. He only has 1 voting power. How about Weiss? Can you get the secret on Weiss? No. This hurts. Got another child on the way. Let's hope it's not a boy because it's going to split our realm. Although I think I might have some plans if that happens. It's not really the end of the world anyway. We're Emperor. 37%. Yeah, we should have just done the death stack at the beginning. I'm nervous with all the time that's passing by. At the beginning of this episode, I was just playing this so slow. But because we're in Iron Man mode, I just don't want to die. But to do this war, we gotta have all this time pass by. So I was so unfortunate that our Marshal died of typhus. That was really bad. Oh yeah, you know what? I just forgot. We should switch after we get this new perk point. We should switch to diplomacy because that's what I was going to do. Oh man, I'm making all these mistakes. I'm not really sure what to go for because metrocracy. I was thinking metrocracy, but we can't use the claim throne because we're the top liege, so it doesn't really make sense for us to get that. But then the perks after this, like change of loyalty, large levies, they're all pretty good. I'm thinking about taxman because we do need some more money, so I think this will be helpful. And now we're going to switch over to foreign affairs, and that means I'm going to switch my wife from court politics to managed domain. She's a lot better at that anyway. Do we have any good prisoners to ransom? Let's see. Got this 20. You got 25 points for this person. And let's see, is she adding to the war score at all? Nope. Gonna ransom her. To the impressive Daniel, despite our best efforts, our agents have yet to uncover any secrets in King Athelwulf's court. I do not believe we'll find anything either. There is no less good than here than a graveyard at noon. Oh man, this wended really badly. Oh jeez. I was hoping we get something. We did get something. We did get a lot of things, but it wasn't on the people that I wanted. So I guess I'm gonna say very well, you know best. Wait a minute, what? He's the heir now. And he's winning the election by 1 vote. I can't believe this. Okay, so I was looking at the previous footage, and it looks like he was actually in there earlier. But I was so focused on the war that I just didn't notice. So this was my original plan. I wanted to get hooks on all the dukes and basically rig the election. And once I was done with that, I would assassinate the king. But now that step is out of the way. So all that's left to do is... I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a bit of a long shot. Emperor Daniel's intrigue is not that great, and this guy over here, he's got like 17 intrigue, and also he's got observant of details. But I'm hoping the hooks we got in court are gonna pay off with this one. We got a cannibal secret, of course, from the lovely Bonfeld de London, and we are going to blackmail her for it. Oh yes. Yes. 75 coins. Welcome aboard. It looks like we swayed the emperor. Yes. Yes. So this means that I'm hoping this means that he's less likely to attack me, but he is a dishonorable villain, so who knows? I mean, it's the best we can do, save for getting an alliance, but unfortunately, he's not really keen to having alliances, and that's negative 100, which is kind of a shame. Because if we had an alliance with the Byzantine Empire, I tell you, West Francia is done. I mean, look at this troop number over here. We would crush West Francia so easily, and we would get a huge chunk of Europe in the process. I still have the claim back from Emperor Christopher. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Like, this guy still has it. But I haven't gone after them because West Francia is our best ally right now. We can't find any better ones. And unless we get that alliance with the Byzantine Empire, unfortunately, Emperor Christopher's dreams of getting West Francia are not going to come true. I probably would have done it, like, even without the Byzantines' help as Emperor Christopher, but because of, like, how much I screwed up and how much that set us back a little bit, I learned that it does pay to play it safe sometimes. Oh no, it looks like Count Azur is being attacked, our favorite ex-Muslim, or supposed ex-Muslim. By my cousin over here. And I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. Hold on, let me try. Regio? So my cousin Regio, I'm just going to call him Regio because that's the best I can do, is attacking Azor for his territory. And I'm not going to reveal too much, but I'm just going to say that kind of interferes with our plans to make some people kings. So I'm going to try to do the best I can do. I'm going to politely ask him to stop. I have the utmost respect for your wishes, but the die is already cast. I will see this war through to the end. Oh man. Darn it. Well, we tried. I'm so sorry, Azor. We weren't able to save you. I do hope that you stay with us even if you lose all your land. Speaking of which, you and everyone else have done a very excellent job sieging down this castle, so I'm going to need you to move over here. I think it's time for me to tell you a little bit about the lords in the south, because they do play a crucial role in who I want to have as kings. So when Emperor Daniel got the throne, and I think it was the Duchy of Sicily actually, he had 2 younger brothers. And when the succession from his father, or I think it was Emperor Christopher, I don't know who it was, but he inherited this land somehow. And then the rest was split by his 2 younger brothers. So first we got this guy over here, whose name I cannot pronounce. I am so sorry. I'm not a native of an Italian. I cannot pronounce these names. I'm so sorry. And then we got Count Christopher, who has a much better name that I can pronounce. And so this is very common in, I think it's called partition. So once the first king dies, or your father, or whoever is who was the emperor or king before you, when he dies, the realm is split amongst their heirs. Sort of tries to make it as even as possible, but if it's not, they'll put him like at a little bit of a lower position. So since Emperor Daniel, he got the Duchy of Sicily, his brothers got some counties, and this actually is preventing us from getting some more taxes out of this area because these guys are here. We're not making as much money. Now, a lot of people, when they have these partitions, sometimes they would try to like assassinate their brothers, or they try to get rid of them somehow. But I don't think Emperor Daniel's like that. I think he's more of a family man. He's the one that wants to extend the influence of his family, like he's doing in England right now. He's trying to make one of them a queen. So, what I'm thinking is, instead of trying to assassinate them, we're going to trade them for something even better. We're going to make these two kings. And so my plan for them was that I wanted him to be the king of this area, and then I want Count Christopher to be the king of Sardinia, or vice versa. It depends on who gets there first. And then once they're kings, I'm going to have to kick them off their lands. Now it's going to be easy for him because we're not allied. And since we're not allied, I'm able to kick him off his land without any conditions if I increase my crown authority. Now, I'm not going to be able to do that with Christopher though, because I didn't really know that I could do this beforehand. So I joined an alliance with him. So on top of trying to revoke his title, on top of trying to get my crown authority higher, I also have to give a reason why I'm getting rid of this title. And so we gotta find some dirt on him somehow. We have to figure out like if he's an adulterer or something in order for us to kick him out. Which not gonna lie, that might be difficult depending on how good of a person Count Christopher is. I mean, he's compassionate, he's patient, he's arrogant, so maybe his arrogance will get the better of him, but I just don't see him as the kind of guy who would do something dirty. And then my plan for Italy was I wanted to have Count Reggio be the king. And that's why this is a bit of a problem that he's taking over this land. Because what I was going to do is I was going to make him the king of Italy. And then I was going to try to revoke his title over here so that we can have Sicily to ourselves. But now that he gets this one and this one, that it's going to be a little bit harder to revoke his titles if I want to make him king. Oh, and fun fact about him, he's actually a twin to the count right next to him. So I call them the twins because it's just funny how they ended up right next to each other, and they're also allied. So I imagine that like they kind of just go to each other's castles and just hang out and just like they're all buddy with each other. It's just kind of funny how that ended up that way. But maybe I can't call them that anymore. It's not like there aren't twins, but it just doesn't have the same ring to it now that Count Reggio is going to have 2 counties. Just ruining this perfection right here. But I'm probably going to be taking a break from thinking about this area. There's honestly nothing we could do about it right now. But if you have any ideas on how I can get Count Reggio out of Sicily and make him the king of Italy, I would appreciate it if you let me know in the comments. And it's really important that Count Reggio becomes the king of Italy, not Count Christopher, not this guy, but Count Reggio. And I won't reveal too much, but let's just say it involves him being a genius and Italian culture. If you've been playing this game for a while, you probably know what I'm planning to do. Wait a minute. His name isn't Reggio, it's Comita. Oh no, I was calling him Reggio this whole time. Oh no, that's not his name, that's the county. Oh no, no wonder he hates me so much. So anyway, we're gonna try and murder the king. And this is getting a lot more expensive than I thought it would be. Dwayne? Alright, I should just give up on names right now. But this lady over here, she was not cheap. And I'm imagining that the other agents that we're going to hire are not going to be cheap either. So, it's kind of ironic because I kind of went over to England so we can get money, but now the opposite is occurring. I just hope this pays off. If he discovers the scheme, or if like it gets compromised in any way, I'm abandoning this immediately. If I get if Emperor Daniel gets murder trait, I really think that's going to interfere with our ability to call in holy wars. So I really I'm really just kind of making a huge gamble with this one, but it is a controlled gamble because if he just discovers the scheme, he won't discover that we were the ones responsible. So we could just pull out whenever we want, but that would just be a huge money sink, and we would have spent all this money for nothing. I wonder if anyone else would be willing to join if I sell this guy off as a ransom. We'd have about 150-ish gold, and maybe someone will be willing to join the scheme. It still doesn't look like we have enough. Oh geez. But I do have a couple tricks up my sleeve. We can lawfully imprison this lady over here, and she has a decent amount of money. So we're gonna do this, and maybe when we ransom her, she's gonna give us some more. As per my orders, Mayor Macelia is now to be confined to her home. I posted some of my guards to ensure that she is compliant with her house arrest. Good. We also have a potential weak hook on his wife. I'm going to blackmail her and see what happens. Now, this was just as I suspected. She's not going to join our scheme just because we have a weak hook on her. We're going to need a little bit more. And also, let's see if we can ransom her for any money. 30 coins, not bad at all. We're going to ransom you. And I wonder if she would be more willing to join the scheme if she knew the secrets that her husband was hiding. His secret lover. We're going to expose King Applewhoop's secret that he is lovers with this woman, and his husband, her husband, is actually not too far away from accepting the murder scheme. So I wonder if we expose this, if he's not going to like that. So we might get potentially 2 people on this scheme. It doesn't seem like I can expose it to him for him. But what if I exposed it for her? Oh, yes. Did that help us? I hope so, because now he doesn't like me. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This guy will join us. Oh, man, I'm liking that success chance a lot more now. Shouldn't cheated on your wife. You shouldn't have cheated on your wife. And you're going to pay the price. Man, she still won't accept, even though we have a hook on her and we can bribe her. And I really don't see anyone else, too. I just tried a bunch of them, and I just don't see anyone else joining. Looks like we're at an impasse. Maybe I can get my spy master to look for secrets in England again. It's kind of our only hope right now, because other than that, we're just going to have to rely on murder events, like murder scheme events, in order to get the percent chance up. Looks like I got another daughter. Oh, you have been so brave, so strong. Words cannot describe my love for you. And now we have a perfect little daughter. Yes, I cannot pronounce my wife's name. Who will you become, my child? And what shall I call you? Let's call her a name that I'm good at. Let's call her a good Catholic name. How about we call her Beatrice? I like that. And these guys are almost done. Victory's so close, I can taste it. And that's a wrap. Let's see if there's anyone we can ransom before we end this war. Nope, our prison is empty. You know, before I end this, I just wanted to bring this up a little bit, really quickly. So, the Emir, I think it's Emir, this guy had an alliance with this guy, and they actually technically had more troops than us because of that. But unfortunately, this Emir over here was busy in a war, so it didn't really matter, and we win. So I mean, Amir Amiska, you know, you have put up a good fight. You know, you were pretty good. You beat us in that first battle, and I was a little bit worried for a second, but at the end of the day, you know, unfortunately, our troop number won out, and we will claim victory. The vile Emperor Daniel, your low character is the subject of Greek plays. You are a much greater fraud than I have imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply to you with your demands. So be it. And looks like they still have this little itty bit of land over here. Unfortunately, I wish that even I wish that because we conquered it, it would have counted, but fortunately it doesn't. We cannot disband them because they're not in friendly territory. That war was a lot closer than I thought it would be, and I do commend him for it. But unfortunately, we're going to have to come back for your land eventually. Oh, wait a second. I missed this. So where it looks like we might have inherited. Yeah, we did. So I was hoping that uh, this would actually end before we won, but we inherited this war, unfortunately. But geez, it never ends. It looks like Al-Khattab is our ally in this war. I'm sure that's a little awkward for him. I could always declare white peace, but since we are already winning this war and we do get a decent amount of money from this, I think I should move forward with it. And also, we might have a chance to get some prisoners that we can ransom, which will be great because we kind of need the money right now. I'll just send these guys over here and see how it goes. And I think while I'm at it, I'm going to create a new men-at-arms regiment. I mean, we have not had horsemen, and we have been fighting in a desert. I mean, no wonder we lost that one battle. And I wonder if I can raise these guys real quick. So I'm going to raise them over here. And then if I say raise all armies, let me see what happens if I do this. Alright, and then they're going to go in the same spot. And speaking of which, it looks like Kamata is the commander. We're going to win this battle over here decisively. And speaking of Tamata, he did successfully conquer Azor's land. And unfortunately, he's lost to us forever. I tried to invite him back to court, but unfortunately, he's not going to come back. Are you happy, Kamata? I hope you are. So anyway, we should figure out who's getting this chunk of land. And this is something we should carefully consider. Because everyone I've given land to in Northern Africa has died a tragic death. Back when I was Emperor Christopher, I first gave land to Duke Adelmio, and at the time he was my marshal and best commander, so I wanted to reward him with some land in Northern Africa. But unfortunately the Muslims did not like that we were here, and they had a revolt. And when I gave him all this land, he didn't have enough troops to defend himself against the uprising, so he ended up fighting and dying from his wounds. Then next up was his son. And to honor his memory, I tried to keep their family on life support. He was a child at the time. As Emperor Christopher, I took him in as a ward and basically watched over him and made sure that he didn't die. And maybe I got a little attached to him. But then once Emperor Daniel took power, there was another Muslim revolt, and then he died in a siege. And then as Emperor Daniel, I was surrounded by enemies. So I was thinking, alright, I have to put someone in Northern Africa that actually likes me. So I chose the person who had the least negative opinion of me. And this was Duke Silvestro over here. He had I think it was 20 or 26 or something. It was pretty low, but it was something. So I gave him this land, and then, his opinion of me went up and he loved me. So he was like my friend in the South. But unfortunately, he actually died in battle. I think he was slain in that one battle where I had the typhus general in there, and he was slain by this guy. I don't know what the version of the Islamic version of knights are, but I think he was a knight, and he ended up slaying Silvestro, which was such a shame because he was plus 100 on me, and it was even beyond that because of all the land I gave him. And now his father's in charge. And I have a feeling he's going to suffer a similar fate. It's official, guys. This land is cursed. But maybe there's hope for someone to break it. And what better of a person than the man who helped us conquer the Macedonian Emirate? I think I made him marshal just as he came of age. And this inexperienced youth, my younger brother, has led the army for the entire war. And so I believe that this talented, prideful youth should be rewarded. And we should grant him these 2 counties. Now, if he happens to die, that means we would regain control of this county. But does this mean we're sending him to his death? No, of course not. We're just giving him a challenge worthy of his reputation. I plan to replicate exactly what I did for Duke Adelmio, and I'm going to slowly give Count Christopher land in this area. And maybe, just maybe, the Muslims won't be too happy about that, and they'll have a revolt. If he somehow survives, we're going to set him up to be the king of the Archelabid kingdom, and then we'll just have to get his county the old-fashioned way, where we were going to find some dirt on him using our spy master. That is unless Duke Arief decides to conquer him. Man, there's so many ways he could die. Be challenged. In Italia, hard work is rewarded. So, here you go, kid. Go nuts. And now he loves me. Alright, alright. I'm liking the sound of that. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it an episode for now. I hate to leave you hanging with the King Applewolf murder scheme, but this video is already much longer than I expected it to be. I'm pretty new to YouTube, so I'm not really experienced when it comes to video quality or upload schedules. Even speaking clearly in the mic can be a little bit of a struggle for me. I'm sure some content creators could get a video like this done in a week, but for me it took months to make. Like, I started roughly at the beginning of the Viking update, and now at the time of this recording, the Azure patch is set to come out this week. So if you enjoyed this video despite the technical difficulties, despite my not so perfect commentary, then I am extremely grateful. Consider leaving a like and subscribing if you want to see videos similar to this one. You might also want to click that bell, especially for me, because I'm not sure when my next video will be out. I plan to see the glory of Italia through to the end, but that all depends on whether this save file becomes corrupted. There were some weird glitches when I switched this over to the Viking update. Like, over in where the Vikings are, some of this land is not occupied. And if I go to the nope, not this one. The Astru religion, it didn't switch one of the tenants over to the Grand Blot. It's still human sacrifice. And then it also switched people's hairstyles around. Like, Prince Louis the Younger does not look like he used to. And it was not the only one that was switched. Almost everybody just ended up having a different hairstyle. I just had to like switch Emperor Daniel's style back to the original one that I fell in love with. I mean, look at that magnificent beard. Overall, these glitches aren't too bad on their own, but as these patches keep rolling out, this save file might become glitchier and glitchier until it finally gives out. Man, I really hope that doesn't happen. I'll do everything in my power not to make it happen. I prefer to play on the latest update so we can access all the greatest and latest content that Paradox has left for us, but I do have a backup save just in case. It isn't really a backup, honestly. I just went into the game files, copied the save, and then just pasted it in like a random backup folder. I don't even know if it works. But if the Paradox gods are merciful, you will see me again next time. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out. I still have to edit the slideshow at the beginning and also come up with a good thumbnail. Both are things I am not experienced in, but I'm looking forward to it. My name is Chris. This has been a Crusader Kings 3 Iron Man campaign, and I hope you have a good day.